Robert De Niro receiving a standing ovation at the Tonys for saying F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. That's how you become popular these days.
Yeah, that's you know what was funny to me? Like after he said it, he like put his hands up like he won. There it is.
Yeah. If this is not evidence of Hollywood's far left bias that controls our culture, I mean, I don't know what is. Are regular people awakening to this type of behavior?
I don't know, man. This is when I saw that, I was like, what is this? This is like he said it as if he said something revolutionary. And I'm like, fuck, Trump is revolutionary now? Like that's like damn, like people look back at history like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, they're really gonna think Trump was like this evil guy because of all these events. And I'm just like, wow, this is funny.
Red states will write their textbooks the proper way. But the problem is most schools get their textbooks from California, so you might be right.
Well, hopefully that country will just kind of, or that state will kind of just break off and just float into the ocean somewhere. So
That's impossible. Sitting on the fault line. It's definitely possible.
No,
I mean,
and
go ahead.
Go ahead. It's unfortunate that you see more and more stuff like that every day. I mean, how long ago was it that we saw a comedian get awarded and applauded and told that she was so brave because she held Trump's severed head on a plate? I mean, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that would immediately got you arrested by the friggin' FBI and investigated to find out that if you were linked to terrorism. Because you do something like that, they have to ask questions. You know, you have an actress that comes up and says that she would bomb the White House if she got a chance, and that she implored people to bomb the White House.
Madonna.
And was still paraded as a hero for it. So what changed? Like, how do we separate the love of a president or our dislike or hatred of a president to hatred of a country? And it's lost that that distinction, and it's become a single narrative that the whole country is bad and Trump's at fault for it. So it's just getting old real fast, in my opinion.
It's scary. It's really scary because, like you said, ordinarily you'd have to be investigated by the FBI. But the rules or the goalposts have been moved for them. So now it's okay to attack the president, which tells me that there's somebody else at play here. There's somebody else that's pulling some strings. Somebody else that's controlling things. And it's definitely tied to the media.
Is it George Soros? I love Alex Jones. I mean, he can be very informative, but I really don't know if George Soros is really this bad of a guy that the right media really makes him out to be.
I mean, just like anything else, it's up to personal opinion. It's still kind of sad to see, like I said, the extreme polarization one way or the other. And Alex Jones included, he tends to be more comedic with his approach, whether he's saying that he likes somebody or saying that he dislikes somebody. But it just can we just have like this discussion right here? How come we can't see this on a national level, where even if two people disagree or there's a set of misinformation or however it be, we have a simple, benign conversation, because that's what people are supposed to do. Why does it always have to end up in violence now? Whether it's comedic violence or literal riots in the street, burning down buildings and pissing on Trump Tower, which is something I saw happen recently. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that we can ever get back to a point where both sides of the aisle can have a civil discussion and not see so much hatred for one another anymore.
If the left wants to have a conversation like some adults, but they don't, so it's just like, oh, this is what I believe. You're evil. It's just like, well, can we talk about this? No, you're evil. It's just like, all right, fuck it, I'm evil.
Yeah. A good example is what just happened in this live stream. Hotep, I didn't agree with what you said about dictatorships, but it was nice to hear your view, and I'm going to be polite, and you were polite, and that's how it should be. I mean, at the end of the day, we go home and we believe what we want to believe. What's the point? It's important that we have that dialogue and we listen to each other.
Yeah, exactly. There's this dope article on Zero Hedge, how Soros single-handedly created the European refugee crisis. And there's some interesting things in there. Soros is a very interesting guy. I think that's the article I was looking for, but there's an article on Zero Hedge that kind of shows how George Soros invests his money in certain places to change the political and economic environment. So when we look at Black Lives Matter, we know Black Lives Matter was funded by George Soros through Open Society. When you look at GLAAD and a lot of these LGBT movements, you'll see ties to a Soros organization. When you look at Hillary Clinton, her daughter got married in a Soros-owned home. So there are ties to Soros, to the evils.
The globalists are taking over. Soros.
I think that Soros is probably one of the scapegoats. I don't think I think he's probably on a lower rung, right? So I think there's people that are above him that we don't know about. Names are never disclosed. Names are never published online. That hide in the shadows, that have way more control. Like when we look at the Federal Reserve, we have no idea who runs that place. We have no idea how it runs. We don't know who's appointed who. So for example, like they have this video of missing money on YouTube. It's like missing money from the Federal Reserve, and they asked Ben Bernanke where like $2 trillion went, and he goes, "I can't tell you that." And it's like, yo, that's my money. What you mean you can't tell me what I did with my money? So he's like, well, who'd the money get invested with? I can't tell you that. What? You can't tell me who you gave my money to? It's just like, oh, the fuck on,
It's my money and I want it now.
So I think that anybody who wants to have a conversation about what's going on in this world, if they don't want to talk about the media and the Federal Reserve, they're just blowing smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, not to go Illuminati on this or anything, but there is a small conspiracy that's starting. You guys have both heard of the Rothschilds, I assume?
Oh, of course.
So, for you, Philip, the Rothschilds are... Okay, so you did? All right.
No. Thank you. I'm inclined to learn.
In short overview, they are what made the banks. They are all of the banks. They control most of the money in all of the countries behind the scenes, and they're responsible for a lot of the power plays that we see. But there's this whole conspiracy of their lineage thing. And I was going to make the joke that maybe Soros isn't one of the Rothschilds, but maybe he works for the Rothschilds. He's just not very good at his job because he's out in the open now.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, somebody has to take the public blame. Somebody has to be the face. When people know and people start pointing and they're looking for a face, you have to give them a face before they find you. So it's like, here, give them Soros, and that's the guy we'll blame everything on. Meanwhile, they get to sit back and chill. But Soros is stupid paid, so it's like, all right, I volunteer for this position. But when it comes to like real money, Soros, I think he's a low ball player.